Well, good morning. Bobby Lee here from Hurricane Creek Farms. You can see the West Tennessee sunrise coming up there over my shoulder, but early here on a Wednesday morning, I'm going to get some stuff done. Got a lot going on today, like usual. That's the only way we would have it, but we appreciate y'all watching. Give the video a thumbs up, hit subscribe, please. But first thing we're going to do, I say that, we've already been doing morning chores, got everything kind of fed and situated here at home. Y'all have seen that plenty of times. Didn't want to just bore you with the same content over and over, but we're going to load up our UTV side-by-side, whatever you want to call it, sprayer in the back of the Pioneer. Kind of show you how easy that process is, and then we got to head up the road and put this thing to work. A little bit awkward just in terms of it's bulky, it's not heavy, but it's empty. Anyway, she's in there. Strap her down with our ratchet strap there, and we're ready to mix up a tank for spraying. I guess I do have to hook up the lines to the battery, but that takes just a few seconds as well. Okay, so of course running our water in there, get that going. We'll get our chemical mixed up. Here in just a second, do our quick math on exactly how much of that we need. And yeah, then we'll be ready to roll. We're also going to grab a bag of the mineral we bought last week. This is one we have fed in the past. The VitaFirm Heat, designed kind of as the name would imply, or I don't know, I guess it could be confusing. No, it is for cattle that could be heat stressed. It also has the Clarifly, which is the insect growth regulator. Basically, acts almost, think of it like birth control for those flies. But okay, before we get unloaded there, just gonna show you main thing that has really got us antsy to get sprayed here on this farm is all these thistles. And then you see these hillsides, which this area just right through here is probably the worst that we have them on this farm. Get it sprayed. We got some cockleburr in a spot or two we would also like to target. Calves are not in this pasture, that's why you don't see them. Two, I should mention, reason we mixed up our chemical before we came down here is simply we don't have any water on this end of the farm. The cattle water out of pond there or over there. There's a couple of spring-fed ditches. We do have a hydrant, with running water on the other end of this property, but we're fortunate we got road frontage to two different places. When you come in one spot or the other, it's just, we could get there, especially with the side-by-side. It's just a process, and I wanted to start right here with the spraying. So kind of a convoluted explanation there, I know, but we're gonna get to spraying, and then once we get that tank empty, we'll ride the side-by-side on up from here and check those calves. Of course, we have a few of them over here kind of in these thickets, harder to reach spots, which they're not really hurting the pasture out in these areas, but obviously they're going to go to seed here pretty soon, and yeah, then we'll have just a whole new crop of thistles next year. So that's where the wand comes in really nice. Kind of spot treat those areas. Have to unwind a little more hose. Not sure how long this hose is. You just need to go to agzaga.com, and it's got all the specs. Then of course, pick out one you like, size sprayer, whatnot, and the boom you want to pair it up with. And then you use that discount code HCF10 to get 10% off, because nothing better than a made in USA sprayer that you're then getting to buy essentially on sale. But moving on, we've sprayed out maybe about a third of a tank, so we're getting over a good bit of ground. We won't get over everything today. All right, we're not totally out of chemical, but it's getting low. and we are on some rough ground, which is basically this entire farm. And so depending on which way you are on the hillside, it's not picking up spraying real good. So a little bit that's still in there, we may go get on some level ground and just do some hand spray and get rid of what else is in there. And then, you know, probably this weekend, today's Wednesday, I gotta work tomorrow and Friday before we can get back down here. But yep, there's some cuckleburr. Cuckleburrs just over here on this hillside, or you may not be able to tell from here, it's just a carpet of them. So very satisfying to drive right through there. But probably lack another pass or two on this hillside. See, just thistles, you know, a lot of those little thorn trees, whatnot, which for those, we really need to get in here with the clipper, which I don't know, depending on how our time and everything is going over these next few days, we may try to do that as well. But practically speaking, we are done with spraying for this morning. One of maybe the only few disadvantages of having a sprayer in there is we don't have anywhere to put our feed buckets. We got to ride over and across the next ridge and up to where the calves are right now. So yeah, got buckets stacked up here, bag of mineral on there, kept it off of, it's just sitting there on top of the lid basically. So yeah, we'll be back. We'll have to spray. I don't know, I got over probably about what I should have when you think about how many acres we should get over total with that versus what we actually did. So we'll just keep doing that, just, you know, probably a tank at a time, you know, whenever we can get down here. One other nice thing, this chemical will show up very quickly, and so by the time we're back down here in, you know, another 2 or 3 days, we'll be able to tell any spots we missed, you know, need to hit again. You know, we're also covering, you know, new ground as well. That mineral has garlic in it to help deter insects, kind of in addition to having the IGR, the insect growth regulator. Smells good, the my only point there. But where are the calves? It's about 8:15, so we're behind schedule as far as when we're normally down here first thing in the morning. So yeah, they're not up here at the feed bunks. Maybe ride around for a minute, see if we can put eyeballs on them. And good deal. I drove straight to them. I didn't know where they would be, and there's about 8 different directions I could have gone in from those bunks. This is the biggest pasture in terms of just total area they're in right now, and lots of little thickets and whatnot. But get a look at everybody. Of course, the bull. The year we've had, we always hold our breath. There he is, good deal. So yeah, since our initial bull problems we had to start the breeding season, things have gone fairly smoothly. You know, it would be nice to have a second bull down here like we originally did, but we're not gonna be greedy as long as this guy right here remains sound and healthy. We're gonna be satisfied with that. We'll go on up there to the bunks. If they'll follow us up there, we'll hit them with some fly spray. As we wait on them to get up here, one thing I have noticed, just because we've ridden around a little more this morning because of the side-by-side, we take the Jeep just about anywhere the side-by-side can go, but yeah, there are more thistles in more places than what I'd realized, so yeah, we may end up spraying 4, 5, 6 plus tanks before it's all said and done. I figured it'd be like 2 or 3, but probably got at least another full tank to spray out in that pasture we just came from. As I look in here, there'll be at least 1 tank's worth of spraying to get over in this pasture, and if I was betting, probably 2 more, and then we've got 2 more pastures we haven't even been in to look at, not very closely, not today anyway. But get them up here, get them sprayed. just to try and give you an example of how bad the flies are. I mean, are you kidding me? This is miserable. I'm out here for a few minutes at a time. But yeah, we've definitely got to stay on top of spraying them. Oh man, you know, putting out that fly control mineral. You know, reality, we should have been feeding that, you know, for maximum benefits of using the IGR for a couple of months probably now, long before the flies even get started. The way that works, of course, all these cattle eat that mineral. Well, these flies reproduce in the cow patties, in the cow manure. When their manure has that product in it, the flies, those eggs they lay there are not viable. There's no next generation of flies. So that's why you need to start even beforehand. Hey, we had bought a bunch of our high mag mineral back early in the spring, and we were kind of feeding it up before we moved into more of our summer mineral. So not perfect, not ideal for fly control, but we should be getting where we're seeing the positive benefits of it over the next few weeks. Walking here, check on these spring ditches where they water. Always worry about them. You know, certainly this time of year is starting to get drier. Be sure they've always got plenty of water. There's actually about 3 different springs in this pasture where, you know, feed different, you know, drainages and whatnot where they can water. This is typically one of the more reliable ones. So check over here. Oh yeah, lots of water. It runs way on down through there. Originates up here. So in good shape there. Thought so, but yeah, speaking of that, speaking of weather, of course, if you watched our last video where we road tripped up to Kentucky and back for the horse show, we had those nasty storms that blew through right before we got home. You're saying, okay, well, but you wish it wouldn't storm so bad, you appreciate the rain. So if we got no rain, like we got absolutely no rain here, had a little bit of wind damage. Of course, again, we were without power until about noon the next day. But that was Sunday evening, those storms came through. Just south of us, a lot of people still don't have power, saying it may be up to a week, you know, total that they're out. But it was frustrating. You got no rain out of that system. You know, some of the folks, you know, again, more south here may have gotten just a little bit, but yeah, our high temperatures, today is only 94. Tomorrow, 101. Friday, 102. Then it goes 98, 95, and then it looks like we cool off next week. This is kind of annoying. Starting on Saturday, we have basically a 50% chance of rain every day for a week. Which, hey, I hope it rains. I hope it rains every day, you know. If we caught, you know, little afternoon showers, you know, between 1/4 and a 1/2 inch several days in a row, that would be fine with me. We've got no hay. We got some hay getting close, but none here over the next couple of weeks. But yeah, when you see those forecasts, you're like, you know, I've seen this before. We see this kind of every summer. And it's like they're just telling you, it's a coin flip every day whether or not it's going to rain. And you know, it seems like we always get into that pattern where it just won't rain. And you miss it, and you miss it tomorrow, and then you miss it again the next day. And then all of a sudden, you know, before you know it, we hadn't had a drop of rain, you know, in several weeks. So hopefully not. We're still in pretty decent shape on moisture, but especially guys like with corn, you know, in these triple digit temperatures, if it's starting to get a little dry, then you got that extreme heat, you start to see the negative effects of that, you know, on the crop. But anyway, that's my rambling weather discussion for this video. Hey, it's a farming video. We're not going to make it through it without discussing the weather at least once. All right, as you can see the tractor there behind me getting ready to mow some of this long overdue pasture. See, these weeds are just, they're killing me. So really glad to get this done. Haven't had a chance to survey all the storm damage and whatnot from the other night. You can see we had some limbs and tops out of some of these trees on the fence. doesn't look like any of that was big enough to really damage the fence. Yep, there's another one there. Yeah, we just need to get that off there. That is a property line fence between us and the neighbor. Of course, since we're renting that pasture from them, it's functionally just a cross fence right now. But yeah, you can see out here, we're gonna clip all this as well. We don't have the weed pressure like we do over here. And there's some weeds, not much. Some horse nettle and whatnot, but mainly knock the tops off that fescue. Nothing else that'll make it look a lot nicer. Fescue, especially with these triple digit temperatures we're gonna have later on this week, kind of going into its summer slump, being a cool season grass, where it won't be doing a whole lot, but just knock those seed heads off. Something again we probably should have done a month ago. But anyway, I'm gonna fold this thing up so we can get to the gate and get to clipping. Okay, we're rolling, and you know, this that we're clipping right now is part of the same property that we mowed last week, just across the Hurricane Creek from us, and you can't get to this pasture over here with the tractor from that property. But they don't have a creek crossing on this place, but of course we drive around the world, it seems like. Not that far really, just a few miles by road to get over here on the side where we live. And of course we've got our bridge where we can get across, but I still can't get to their property because there's another ditch. But anyway, I know that's confusing. So we got to that stopping point last week, knowing we would have, you know, some time today and in the coming days, pretty much until we get more hay ready to be cut to get this done. But yeah, old sycamore tree down there, I believe that was a casualty of the tornadoes back on March 30th. So not from this most recent windstorm, but actually do see a tree up here that does look like a new one. Yeah, there's some more stuff down there. Yeah, pretty nasty winds we had the other night, apparently. Of course, we weren't home yet, but yeah, we do need to do a more complete survey of all the damage, especially just to check fences. Yeah, that tree right there on the creek bank definitely just came down this latest round of storms. Yeah, I don't know. I'd like to be able to push it around out of the pasture where it's not laying there as it is. Maybe we put the bucket on the front of this tractor and kind of push it out of the way, but I don't know. We've got some other spots, got some trees that were down the hayfield from the tornado that we started and pushed out, kind of on the to-do list. Do that. Looks like we lost part of the top out of the sycamore there, but yeah, just some nasty winds. More tree down there, so yeah, we do need to take time here in the next few days and survey all the fences just to be sure they're in good shape. Well, here I was distracted by what we had seen over on the neighbor's place. Didn't even notice, yeah, the sycamores apparently fared pretty poorly in this storm because that is yet another one down. That is a large tree. Right on the creek, right on the property line. Of course, it claimed some of the fence when it came down because, hey, trees falling down and not catching the fence, what fun would that be? But, yeah. And annoyingly, yes, it is out into the pasture now, so probably way too big for us to push around with the tractor. Certainly not something we would attack today anyway. But yeah, finished up over there on the neighbor's place. Now we're gonna just knocking the heads off this fescue. Not quite as you know, rewarding, you know, where we were, you know, clipping down weeds that were 8 feet tall. Now we're just knocking the tops off this fescue. But this will look much better once we get this done. So we're rolling right along. Yeah, we'll get this one knocked out. We got 2 more smaller fields that'll be pretty much exactly the same. And then we'll maybe parking the clipper for at least a little while. We need to go up to the other farm where we're spraying, and you know, some of those little thorn trees and whatnot, need to hit them with the clipper at some point, but it's not just super time sensitive on getting that done. You know, like it is getting some of these weeds knocked down before they start to flower, you know, start producing more weed seeds out there to deal with at a later time. Okay, got off the mower. Man, my morning, or my first thing this morning task of spraying didn't take as long as I thought. I think the mowing took a little longer than I thought, so I'm kind of back to where I thought I would be, and it's about 3:30, and we're done with those two tasks for the day. I don't know what else we have planned to do. Those two big chores. Need to mix up some more spray. There's some spots, especially around the edges, where we got some thistles that we couldn't quite get to with the clipper. I think I just need to make a pass around the edge of all the pastures to kind of control some of that stuff. I mean, that thistle puts out that seed head. Those little fluffy seeds end up everywhere. So yeah, I want to avoid that, kind of look into the future, but probably not going to mix up another tank today. This weekend, kind of weather permitting, still won't be in the hayfield. We've got a trip coming up out of town for a softball tournament for several days. Probably gonna wait till we're back from there before we cut any hay. Like something was coming up behind me. So, and that won't be until sometime next week. So this weekend should have, and it's always dangerous to say that, yeah, we should have a pretty free, you know, day, Saturday, and then maybe even Sunday afternoon to catch up on knocking out some more of that spraying, because sure as we think that, well, we'll have another big storm blow through. We'll have lots of storm damage to clean up, or something like that. Something will go wrong with some of the animals. So you never know. But we appreciate y'all watching. Again, you saw the sprayer this morning, agzaga.com, that discount code HCF10 to get your 10% off. Not just sprayers, anything. Bail net wrap, parts, supplies, apparel, even, you know, you just need to check them out, browse around, throw some stuff in that shopping cart and use that discount code. HurricaneCreek.farm, pick you out a hat. I guess, yeah, hat's the only thing we got for sale. You notice I am wearing a shirt. We're still not committed to whether or not we're gonna ever sell shirts or anything. It's just selling apparel, unless you're moving an enormous amount of volume, it's just not worth it. I have found out with the hats. But you know, if we can break even doing it, you know, kind of getting our name out there a little more maybe. But yeah, we've got too many hours in the fire as it is. But we appreciate y'all watching. I'm gonna get in here, change clothes. It's a nice warm afternoon to go for a little run, try to stay in shape now that I am absolutely over the hill. Pick up the kids, that sort of thing. We got some T-bones to throw on the grill tonight, so we're gonna eat beef. Y'all know we want you to do the same. Y'all eat beef and God bless.